So for this month's Azure challenge, you're going to have to create a web app that consumes WordPress. And so what does that mean? That means we're going to be creating ourselves a web app in the system. We're going to integrate WordPress into it, and you're going to see how very quick and easy this actually is. Now, one thing about this is that you cannot do this process through the old portal because the marketplace in this portal does not have the WordPress option. So to access the new portal, what we're going to do is we're going to come up here to where our username is, and we're going to switch to Azure Preview Portal. So I've already got this open, and what we're going to do is we're going to create a new marketplace, and let's just search for WordPress. So this first one is the one we want. It's just called WordPress. It's got the black icon. So we're going to create a web app with this, and we're going to use this create button. So we have a few steps that we have to go through to create this web app. It's very quick and easy. We're going to need a unique URL at the Azure, that's at .azurewebsites.net. So I'll call this one Mark McDonald WordPress, just to make it easy for myself to find it. And you're going to have to create a new app service plan. And before you do that, though, I just want to let you know that this standard pricing tier is actually going to cost you money. So we're going to change that. All we have to do is tap on it, and over here you see this View All button. This will give you access to all of your different options for Azure websites called web apps. And you can see that there's various benefits to the different tiers, but they also come with commensurate prices. Now, if all you need is a very basic, simple, dead website of a sort with no custom domains, no upscaling or anything, then this free option is great. So that's what we're going to use for this tutorial. So if you've put in the name for the app service for the new service first, you'll be fine. If you didn't, you'll need to re-enter the name. Now, the web app settings and the location, we can leave those at default for this example. We don't need to worry about those today. And the OK button has to be clicked to save our changes. So now we have to configure a database. So let's come into here. And with the database, what we're going to want to do is also, because we don't want to cost ourselves a whole lot of money, we're going to want to change from this Titan tier, which is it's a basic setup, but it's more than we need for the example. As well, you can see it's going to cost us a little more money. So what we're going to do is we're going to use Mercury, which is the free database tier. And for location settings, I'm perfectly fine with that. So legal terms, again, everything has some legal backing before it, so we're just going to accept. Now for our resource group, we're going to have to create a new resource group, and we'll just call this one Dev July Azure. This is unique to your account, so we're not going to worry about that. And for subscription, I only have the one pay-as-you-go, but if you have an MSDN subscription, or if you're on another system where you have multiple pay-as-you-goes that you want to keep separate, this is the time to change that. So let's go and create this web app. So this process can take a little while for it to create, so we're going to let it run. So I just skipped ahead about 4 minutes while that built itself, and I'm going to show you a bug that sometimes you'll run into when you're using the Azure portal. It says it's still creating my page. It's actually finished. So to check that, you would click here on Browse All, which will give you access to all of your resources. And I can see here that the WordPress web app that I created is in fact running. So what we're going to do is, at this point, we have to go to the actual web page in order to set up the WordPress install. So we're going to browse to that page. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes for that website to set up. So here we can see that it's finished. And we're just going to click on this to bring up its page. So we can see here there's the summary. We're going to select this one. This is the actual WordPress web app that we want. Now, in order to actually install WordPress to this web app, what we're going to need to do is browse to the page. There's 2 ways to get there. Here under Essentials, you'll find that there's a URL that you can click on, or there's the Browse button. Now here we can see we're hitting our WordPress install, so I'm going to pick English. And I need to give the site a title, so I'm just going to call it my name. Now at this point we need to put in we need to give a username as well as create a password to allow us admin access. So I'm just going to use my name. So here we see that we have to do our WordPress installation, and so pick the language that's appropriate for yourself. And here we need to give it a site title. We need to give ourselves a username and password to log in. So I'm just going to call it Azure Market McDonald Azure WordPress, and then I need to use a username. And we need to give it a password. And I do recommend that you use a good password policy for yourself. Because you want to make sure that you have some good strong passwords there. As well, you're going to need an email. Now, because I'm using this as an example site, I don't want people to be able to find it very easily. It's just for purposes of this demo. So I'm actually going to stop it from being indexed on search engines. If this is your personal blog that you want to make sure it's on the search engines, you're definitely going to want to leave that clicked. And from here we install WordPress. And you can see it is that fast and simple. So we'll log in. And here we have our dashboard. Now, for the purposes of this exercise, we need to make some part of our theme pink. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in here to Appearance, and I'm going to come into the background. So we can see here we have background images, background header images, colors, which is what we want. And we're going to create a background color that's some kind of pink. That looks pretty pink to me. Maybe a little bit more pink. So we save and publish. And let's visit the site just to check it. And there we go. Thank you for watching the Azure